Hello, everybody, and welcome to a late The Power of Stats episode number 2. I am Paddy Power, and with me is Mr. Aaron. Um, Welcome, everybody, and welcome back for everybody who managed to watch our first episode. I think it did pretty well, actually. There's some decent numbers on there. I'm hoping that's not just because it had Birmingham's name attached to it. Today's episode is all about Crawley, so let's have some fun with their stats. Aaron, how are you doing?
Oh, fantastic, man. Can't wait to get into it.
Good. Recovered from the loss to Birmingham?
Yeah, it's been it was a tough one to take, but you kind of knew it could be coming, so it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
Okay, well, let's say hello to everybody and let's run through the couple of chats that are there already. Apologies once again for me being late. I had to restart everything so that I had some sound for this episode. So, without further ado, Kelly is first up. Having a hard day. I'm really grateful I have this to look forward to this evening. It warms my heart, Kelly, that you are looking forward to seeing me on a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Not many people look forward to seeing me, but thanks very much for that one.
Yes. Hope your day gets better, Kelly.
And Josh says, let us know if you need anything, Kelly. We're all here for you. We're in the Discord for everybody. Love talking to Kelly in there and everybody else who are in the Discord. We have some fun talking all sorts of nonsense in the Discord. Aaron, I beat Drew. That was
That's right.
yourself.
That's right.
In before Drew.
That's right. Made my day.
Will worries that Mr. Pundit can't find any liquid death down in Mexico. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that are liquid and can lead to death down in Mexico, but let's not get too negative about that. I'm sure Cancun is a wonderful place, and I will go there myself at some point. It's on my list.
There
So,
you go.
okay, next up is Wayne Evans. Hi all, at work for 3.5 hours, nothing to do, and show starts same time as first load of concrete is due. Typical. Hopefully it's late. Well, we are late. Oh, the concrete is late, maybe.
Yeah.
we'll we'll try and get through this. Yeah, the concrete. I mean, he said it in the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, and Josh is here. No liquid death down here. He's been struggling. I'm sure there's other water available in Mexico. Wayne, the boys will be on time, unlike me. Maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah. We screwed that one up.
Show will be on time, but I've never seen a concrete truck show up on time.
That's true life, right there.
Yeah, but you didn't account for me though, Aaron.
Yeah, I know it.
Although I,
I know it.
although I must admit, I really hate being late.
Dude,
And in my little bit of defense, we were on for over an hour working on the show before
yeah,
we started.
we were on almost 2 hours, and then somehow we still managed to be late.
John in Iowa, I'm sorry, but Topo Chico is far better than Liquid Death. Okay, so much so that my iPhone knew to capitalize Topo Chico and not the other. Okay. Madal, Council Pop is way better. Basically, Wrexham tap water. Okay. John, I'm afraid of Mexican Council Pop. Okay, I won't read the next one because that's just Mad Al being Mad Al. And just to show you what I mean, he already apologized. Sorry, that was a very graphic mind painting. Okay, and everybody has an opinion. Christine says she has to jump in to say that Polar is far superior than canned seltzer. Wayne Evans, straight out of the hose in Oz. Yeah, straight out of the tap here in Finland too. We have some of the best water. Ooh, what happened to my lighting? Went freaky for a second. Mad Al again, Welsh water is so good, the English steal it from us. So it seems like this chat is all about water. Let's fly through all these waters because this is about stats, not water.
Yeah.
Oh, Mad Al, I don't trust any of these stats from Paddy. He has lunch with the Crawley team. Fact. Coming at me hard. What did I do to deserve that?
Hey, I'm just glad they're not calling me a Rotherham fan yet.
Okay, what is up with my camera? My camera is freaking out. Um,
That's
can
all
you
right. I'll
pull
take
some
it.
more comments there while
Yep,
I
yep.
try and
I got
reset
you.
this? Yeah.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay, John in Iowa. For a show name, I humbly suggest Up the Tables. There's levels to this name. Ooh,
There we go.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
No, that's not too bad actually.
Yeah. Aaron no longer got internet powered by a potato. Actually, my internet completely went out right before the show started. So, Shell wasn't the only one having trouble. So, it's still powered by a potato, maybe just a slightly bigger potato. Um, Ken, what are the statistics on the show running on time?
Well,
Apparently not very
50-50 at the moment because we
good.
were on time for the first show, late for the second. So that's an
we're,
easy
we're,
stat for you.
we're mid table. We're mid table. Uh, Aaron's fed the hamster in the wheel to power the interwebs. Absolutely, Matt. Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, you ready to get into it, Shell?
Yep, let's go for it. You're going to pull up the table and have a quick
Yes.
chat about that, I think.
Real quick. Get this going. And here we go. All right. Here we go. So here's the league table. And as you can see, we are still at the top, right where we want to be. Of course, we're on even points with Birmingham and Charlton, but we lead on goal difference. Um, so that's good. What are your thoughts, Shell? What do you think?
Yeah, good looking table. Of course, let's be fair about this. We are played one extra game on some others.
True. Yeah.
So the danger coming up behind us is Birmingham City can jump ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Huddersfield Town can jump ahead of us with a draw and a lot of goals or a win. And then Stockport County need a win to get ahead of us. But obviously, at the moment, we're going to be playing games at the same time as them. So if we take out Crawley this weekend, we can stick at the top of the table for a bit longer. And we'll
Mm-hmm.
see how it goes from there. Now, for any of you who are worried about this spot, don't be, because look, we're going to bounce around for a little bit, but as you'll see in a moment, we are on track for some good end of season business.
That's right.
Where are Crawley Town, our
So
opponents this week?
let's scroll down the table a little bit, and they are sitting at 13th right now. So they drew their last game and lost the two before that. Before they started the season on 2 wins. So they've been a bit up and down, trying to figure out their level in this league. So
13th position is a nice position for Crawley Town. I did not
Mhm.
expect them to be anywhere near this.
Yeah, me neither.
Now, maybe it's a little bounce at the start of the season, and I suppose a lot of people are saying that about us too. So we need a couple of more matches under the belt to see where everybody goes. But at the moment, I'm less pessimistic than you are about Crawley Town staying up this season. Because we spoke about that last week.
Hmm.
My reasoning as to why I think Crawley will stay up is because they are able to win a match, and that's
Hmm.
what'll boost your points. Those that go down tend to end up with a lot of draws,
Yeah.
and that's all they can manage is a
Hmm.
very rare win. So I'm putting it on Crawley to be good enough to win a couple of matches and sneak out of there, but time will tell.
Yeah. Yep. Still early. Yeah, I'm not so high on them. I we'll get into the stats and we'll talk a little bit
Yeah,
why.
the
And
the,
as
the
we go,
stats
yeah,
when I put them together, they do kind of go more in your favor than
yeah,
my opinion on this one.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, kind of is a little
Um,
bit of a statistical nightmare for Crawley
Here's
this week.
uh,
So
Glenda Bursey says Crawley drew to stock against Stockport last week. Yes, they did. Which that's sounds like a good draw. I'm still not 100% sold on Stockport yet. So when we'll see how they do.
So
Think I don't think they've played as many good teams as some of us have. So I'm not so sure about Stockport just yet.
maybe
But
another quick hot take there from Aaron,
yeah,
because
hey, the Hoosier
everybody's
hot take.
high on Stockport.
Hey, the Hoosier
Um,
hot take. That's what I do. That is what
but
I do.
remember, everybody, if Stockport start dropping like a stone, who said it first?
That's right.
The
That's
Hoosier hot
right.
take, huh?
Yeah.
Uh, Madal, there we have a 14-day break after the Charlton game. The table will settle down by then, correct? But we have to make the most of the games we have. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
totally agree. I will be at that Charlton game, and I'm going to keep saying it every time Charlton come up until I leave and go and watch that match. So another away match for me this season. I'm heading to London for a couple of days and jumping in to Charlton. Wowza.
Okay.
Throw
Now
that
let.
one up. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
I missed it. I missed it. I missed it.
Did you see it?
Sorry. Holy cow, John in Iowa.
Pull it up.
John in Iowa.
John.
Unbelievable, dude. Thank you so much.
Wow, John. Thank you so much. That is amazing to do that for the show, and to show us that sort of love and appreciation. That's really
That's
cool.
incredible, John. Incredible. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All right. Oh, there's Josh.
Crawley are way
Crawley
down from Josh.
way down. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Real quick,
let's
you want to
yeah.
see the bottom of the table here? Let's look
Okay.
at the relegation zone real quick. Bolton Wanderers in the relegation zone. Who would have figured that at the beginning of the season? What is going on in Bolton?
Nuts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then the other three are Leighton Orient, Shrewsbury, Cambridge. Those three aren't super surprising. I think a few people would have thought Leighton would be a little higher. But other than that, I mean, that's, Shrewsbury and Cambridge, I think most people thought they would be struggling anyway. So, yeah, so there's a look at the table. I will stop that. Okay.
Okay. So before we hit Charlton, I just wanted to bring back something from last week and maybe explain it a little bit better now. This is a little graphic that I drew up myself. And basically, first of all, if you go across the top of this graphic, you just simply have matches played 6, current points 13, average points per match have now changed to 2.17 with the loss to Birmingham at the weekend. But that still estimates that we will hit 99.7 by the end of the season if you average out these first 6 matches, which is an excellent points total still. Excuse me. And that actually still takes us above the average for first place in this league.
Yeah.
Now, Birmingham may or may not smash that this season, so that remains to be seen. However, second place, which is again an automatic promotion, is 91 points, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
So we are nicely above the second automatic spot, which is exactly where we want to be in the top 2. Now, to explain what's going on down the bottom of this sheet, I will zoom in for everybody. So here we have the bottom sheet here. If you look on the left-hand side here, we have the points that we have achieved so far, and I've just noticed I've made a small mistake. So 3 points, 4, 7, 10, 13, and this 13 should be red because it was a loss to Birmingham. And I just made a mistake in the coloring, so I'll change that for the next graphic. But because we have achieved 13 points, and this is the average points we need at 6 matches, we are still in line to get first place. Yeah. If it happens that the unthinkable happens and we lose to Crawley Town, that would mean that we would move up to 7 matches with 13 points, and now we wouldn't be on target for first or second, and we would be sliding into an average points total to make us third. And this is how this graphic is going to work as we pass through the season. And on the right-hand side, as you can see it growing up, as soon as we hit the top of this table, then that means we have surpassed the average for that position, and we'll just start knocking off 24th, 23rd, 22nd, that they're basically guaranteed We are not going to go lower than this if we lose every single match remaining. Um, and I will show this graphic occasionally, just to show how we're getting on. And that's pretty much it. Just simply to say, look, we had a bad match against Birmingham. We lost to potentially the very best in the table this year, and they might smash it. But we are totally on track, for where we want to be. So,
Yeah.
with that, we are moving on to start with Crawley Town.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, before that, any more comments here we need to run through?
Basically,
Add-
I ran through a few of them. People
Oh,
just
you did?
thinking
Okay.
John.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
watching.
just, yeah, I was sliding through them. Yeah, basically everybody
Okay.
thinking John. John, you are a legend. How much internet does that get, Aaron? A month's worth. Yeah, that'll give me a month. Well, there you go.
Okay. Right. So, basic stats then for Wrexham versus Crawley. Points achieved for us 13, for Crawley 7. They may or may not be lucky to have that number, 2 wins and a draw so far.
Yeah.
Matches played 6 each. We are in league position 1, they're in 7th. Points per game is now 2.17 for us and 1.17 for them. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss for us, and 2 wins, draws, and losses for Crawley. Then I have put in the home versus away stats because we're at home this time and they are obviously away. For us, that is 3 straight wins in 3 home matches, 3 points per game, obviously. And then for Crawley Town, they have had 2 away matches so far, 1 win and 1 loss, giving them a 1.5 point per game average. Anything in that you want to comment on, Aaron?
Well, I mean, the one thing obviously our home form has been terrific. For the last few years since
Few
the
years.
takeover. Basically, yeah. I mean, our home form is unbelievable, and and it looks like that's going to continue. Even in League One, which is good, and hopefully it continues on Saturday, and I don't see why it shouldn't. Crawley, getting one away win, that's 1 from 2. That's not terrible. Um, I think they'd be happy if they had got 2 draws, which would only be 2 points away. So getting a win and a
Yeah.
loss, that gets them three away points out of 2 matches. I think they'd take that.
Okay.
So I don't think that's a terrible stat for them.
Well, I think everybody's pretty much familiar with our last 5 matches. But the last 5 matches for Crawley Town, then they had the draw with Stockport, which came through a penalty, in the second half. They lost to Barnsley 3-0, a little bit of a kicking, but not to be unexpected. Barnsley will be up around the top of the table most likely, so that's
Yeah.
okay. Wigan Athletic was only a 1-0 defeat away from home.
Hmm.
Wigan again, potentially a good team. We're undecided on them, kind of, at the moment. I
Yeah,
haven't seen too much of them.
they're a team they seem to be getting better. They had a tough start to the season. I think they played some pretty tough teams early on. So I think they had a tough start, and I think they're starting to find their feet. So that may not be a terrible loss. Come the end of the season, you may look back and
Yeah.
think, yeah, that probably should have happened.
And then the 2 wins they had at the start of the season was Cambridge United 2-0. Pretty standard. Cambridge is going to be down the bottom.
That's a good away win. That's the type of win they need. They need to be
Yes,
beating teams that will be around that
that will be
relegation.
around them
Yeah,
potentially.
they've got to. Those are the games they got to win if they want to
The
stay up.
bottom 6, bottom 8 teams they
Yeah,
want to
so
be taking points off.
absolutely. So going to Cambridge and getting a 2-0 win, that's fantastic. That's a fantastic result for them.
And then Blackpool as well, 2-1. Not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Black,
that was a surprising one. First game of the season. That was surprising.
yeah, Blackpool again hit and miss at the moment. They had that crazy game where they were up by 3 goals, 4-1, and then drew it 4-4.
Yeah,
So a lot of people again are very happy predicting Blackpool to be up in the top
yeah,
half at least,
yeah.
potentially making a run for playoffs. I certainly don't see it yet. They're not in good shape, but they have a new manager
No,
now.
well, Yeah, they
So
just
let's
replaced
see.
the manager. They
Let's see
got
what happens.
Steve Bruce. Yeah, they got Steve Bruce in, which I think he'll solidify that defense, and they'll play some decent football. I think they'll start getting things turned around. So yeah.
Okay. Moving on then a little deeper. If it'll move, there we go. Okay, so this is a new section this week that we didn't have last week. So let us know what you think of this one. These stats here are all team stats for the league. So
Hmm.
the points you can see are the individual points for the team, but then on the middle you have your position as a ranking 1 to 24 versus all the other teams in the league. So first off, the FOTMOB rating for the team, we have a 7.02 for third place, and Crawley have a 16th place with 6.72. Not a great
Right.
stat to start.
Mhm. Yeah, not for them. This is, yeah, like I said, their stats once we start getting into them, they doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
Yeah, this leads to just off the bat a little bit of what you're thinking that they might be a little bit lucky.
Hmm.
Because if their rating for how they played is accurate and puts them in 16th place,
Hmm.
then maybe they should be just a little bit further down.
Yeah,
But not too bad.
yeah.
Okay, goals conceded. We're fifth. They're 11th. Average possession. Talk about that one.
So this is what Scott Lindsay does. This is his style of football is short passing, control possession, but they have a lot of possession in their own half. So there's a lot of passes between the between the defenders basically, just moving the ball around. And what we'll find as we get further down, they're not creating a ton of chances, but their passing is fantastic. So it's one of those things like, and we've talked about it before. The way they come up with possession stats is they calculate the passes of a team. So when we go into a match and let's say they have 450 passes in a match, and then we only have you know
It's
250.
down below you there.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
stat is 445 for them, putting them in
Hmm.
second place on accurate passes per match.
Right.
And then for us is 215, putting us at
15.
19th in
Right. So yeah, so when you
this
look at
section.
that stat, basically when they calculate the average possession, they calculate it with the passing. So while yes, they have the ball and they're passing it around, they're not doing anything with it if they're just passing it between the defenders. And I think that's been their problem right now. And when we start looking at some of these other, you look at goals per match, they're less than a goal per match average right now.
Yeah.
So that's not, I mean, that's not good. I mean, it's just not. So I put some 20th in the league. You look at, yeah, they've got one clean sheet, which is okay. It puts them on 11th. Their expected goals for the entire season. Okay, now remember, this is a team that controls the second best possession in the league, but their expected goals for the whole season is only 4.2. So that's 23rd in the league. So even though they have the ball all the time, or a lot of the time, they're not doing anything with it. And they have to start scoring goals, and they've got to start creating chances if they want to be able to stay up. That is one of the reasons why I'm not so sure about Crawley being able to stay up. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things, yeah.
Yeah, that
Go
look
ahead.
that stat is simply showing that they're doing nothing with their possession.
Yeah, yeah.
Because other teams who have the higher possession and are playing the tippy tappy football, for want of a better word,
Mhm.
are achieving better numbers in XG. Their XGs are looking good because of a
Yeah,
lot of the XG is based around those type of metrics.
yeah.
Um, so, is this wrong to say? Is this another manager who potentially is showing off their own skill set in order to get bought or moved to a better club, um, more so than really caring how the team actually does.
I don't know. I think he's a really good coach. You know, he's what he was able to do last season
Last season. Yeah,
uh, to get
Th-
them
that's
promoted
his saving
was,
grace. Yeah.
I mean, that's a miracle. I like
Hmm.
everybody expected them to be in the relegation fight. They were like
Yeah.
beginning of the season. Everybody thought Crawley's going down. He was able to work a miracle, and then to be honest, what they've done this season, despite the terrible looking stats, to be in the position that they are after literally changing. I think they changed every player from their starting 11 at the end of the season last season. They changed every player except for one or two, maybe. I think they kept
Yeah.
two. It was
Did
unbelievable. They sold the whole team.
it
So, yeah.
did this looked to me when he sold off all those players
Hmm.
that he was literally just cashing out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I still don't think the players he brought in are good. Like if they are good, he did some amazing work in getting them in cheaply and
Hmm.
replacing the players he had with others without spending money. So it looked like he was giving up. And if the manager leaves, potentially that shows to me that that idea is correct because he doesn't want to stay. He's not
Yeah.
been given the players he needs, and he's been given a hiding basically. A hiding to nothing is called, where like you really have no chance.
Well,
Yeah,
real
and you
quick, there has been some rumors. I do want to hit the
yes,
comments
yes,
real
there has,
quick.
yeah.
Kai says been super busy this week, but wanted to pop in and drop a like and say thanks for running the numbers. Thank you, Kai, for coming in. Uh, Matt Al, does Cambridge still have the Paul Mullen stand? I
No, I
think they
think
did
just
even
for one
rename
season.
it. Which,
Yeah,
gosh, how funny would that be if they still had it when we went there to play them? It'd be hilarious. Um, and then Glinda says Scott Lindsay had a lot of nice things about Wrexham, nice things to say about Wrexham and the players in his pre-match interview today. I have not
maybe
seen that yet. I will watch it.
well,
I do like
he's
Scott Lindsay as a coach. I think he's
he's
a
a
very
smart
good
man
coach.
because he might want
Yes.
to replace Parky later.
You never know. You never know.
I'm deadly serious.
Here's Oh
If
yeah.
he has this
I think
modern
a lot of
style,
managers. Yeah,
yeah,
I think a lot of
keep
managers would want this
keep your
job.
options open.
Yeah, when you've got a team and you know that they're looking or that the ownership is going to back you, that's a team you want to coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
know you're going to get that at Wrexham right now. Ken popped in. I think the stand is sponsored by a dentist now. Okay, the Paul Mullen dentistry stand. Um, I so anyway on Scott Lindsay, there has been some rumors. I haven't checked lately. I haven't went and checked today, but the rumor was that the MK Dons job would be coming open
Yeah.
because their coach was going to take the job at I can't remember Carlisle. I think he was going to take the Carlisle job, which seems a weird move to me, but apparently that was going to happen. And if it did, Scott Lindsay was the favorite for the MK Dons job. Now that's him dropping back to League Two, but I think you would. The players they have fit his style of play,
Yeah.
so it'd be a good fit for him.
And they have some money backing them.
And they've got some backing,
Yeah.
exactly. So he may be okay with dropping down to League Two to take that job, especially if he's not sure that he can stay up in League One.
Yeah. Come straight
Um,
back up and get the backing of the club
yeah,
to go for it
exactly.
next year.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. I do think he's a good coach. They're very good defensively. Um, and a part of that is because they control the ball so much, and the other
Yeah.
teams just don't have the ball to score. But I think when you run into a team like Wrexham, who is very good at scoring a lot of goals despite not having any possession, uh, they could run into trouble. And we saw that last season. If you look at our games we played against them last year, um, the game we played at home was a 4-1 win for us.
Yeah.
That was later in the season when we were really clicking, when we were looking good. I
And the
remember,
early match was 1-0.
yeah, the early match was 1-0, and we were still,
The
that
away
was when
match for us.
we were still trying to figure out our starting 11 at that point, I think. Um, but yeah, the second match 4-1. That honestly, I don't want to give too much away, but that type of result wouldn't surprise me too much. Right now, let's see.
Yeah. So
Uh, yeah, go ahead. Just throw up some comments.
yeah, just some comments, and then I'll fly through the rest of this.
Okay. Okay. Matt Al, I think Bolton, Huddersfield, Stockport, and maybe Mansfield are the only teams who can beat Brum. I wouldn't write us off at home though. Um, God, I wouldn't put Mansfield in that group. I wouldn't. I don't think Stockport can either. Um, yeah, I think Huddersfield is a good shout. Bolton, I don't know what's going on with Bolton. It's hard to see them beating anybody at the moment. I don't know. I mean, good
Yeah.
lord, they're having a terrible time this season. Um, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, interesting comment, Matt. Let's see. Scott Lindsay was asked about the MK Dons rumors today in an interview.
Yeah, I bet he just simply lied about it.
I'm sure he just blew it
Yeah.
off as what can you say? I mean, you're the coach
Look,
for a team right now. You can't
just
say
look,
much.
just look what the Notts County manager said before he
Hmm.
left.
You're
Yeah,
right.
oh yeah, no, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, and then gone. Like,
Yeah.
anything else in the
Yeah.
comments, or will I head on?
Ken, interesting stat about the accurate passes. Crawley playing more possession. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. Their accurate passing is, you know, let's see, where's it at? Accurate passes per match, 445.4 average. That's high. That's second in the league.
But where are the passes going?
Exactly.
Sideways, easy passes. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is. Not of a lot of attacking football. Um, so yeah, go ahead, Chell. Let's
Okay.
break into some
So
of these.
running down through these, if you have a look at the stats that we win, they're
Mhm,
basically stats that are related to either scoring goals or stopping the opponents from scoring goals.
mhm,
So we have shots on target, 8 versus 20th, big chances, 8 versus 19th, uh, accurate passes per match. Now they have that huge, but that's because they have an awful lot of passes in their own third that
mhm.
nobody cares
Yeah,
about.
right.
Accurate long balls, accurate crosses, we're up there and they're way behind. Touches in the opposition box. Now, this isn't great for us, but we don't spend a lot of time up there messing about.
No,
We go straight for the
no,
attack. And
exactly.
they're 17th. So they're right about the same as we are. So for all
Yeah.
their possession and all their passing, they're not getting up into the opposition box. They're doing
Mhm.
nothing with
Which
it.
what that tells me is we're way more clinical than they are. We finish
Yeah,
our chances when we get a chance. When we get into the opposition box, we're taking our chances and we're scoring. They're not,
yeah.
and that's the biggest difference I think right now.
Corners 26 versus 27, 10th and 8th. Um, I am a little surprised that we haven't been pushing up the wings a bit more and forcing corners. But at the same time, I have no positivity about us scoring from corners too often because
I
we need
will.
someone who can kick a corner.
Well, I will say Tom O'Connor's been taking some corners, and he's by far our
He's the
best.
best. He's the
He's by
best of the
far
group.
our
Yeah.
best corner taker. So
And we
he's
do
been better.
occasionally get ahead on them. So I'm
A-
not saying it
And
doesn't
and we
happen,
scored
but
our goal against Birmingham. Our goal against Birmingham was off a Tom O'Connor corner,
and then a
in
ricochet. But
swinger, ricocheted
yeah.
out. Yeah. So
But if we were better at them, we could push up that
yeah.
wing and go for the corners a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, then we have interceptions per match, successful tackles per match, and clearances per match. We are ahead on all of them.
Mm,
Again, clearing out our defensive balls and intercepting to take it back. Possession one in the final third, we're down on a lot. Again, now we press, or at least we did during the Peterborough, but we're not pressing always. And this is
yeah.
something I want to see in the future is I really enjoyed that style versus Peterborough, where we pressed heavy and we pressed as a team. And I want to see in the next few matches what exactly are we doing with our style,
You know,
because
it
I
was
was thinking that's
interesting.
the evolution of our style. But
It
let's
was
see.
interesting in the Birmingham game. It did seem like right off the bat we were pressing a little more,
Trying, yes,
and we had a better like that first
yeah,
15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe was a lot better. Was by far our best in the game, and the early part of that we were pressing, and I thought we were successful. So it was surprising that we went away from it. So I don't know if that was a Parky decision or if the guys just pushed back because they were on their heels. Because
yeah.
Birmingham
I
was
think it was a lot about being
going
on
so
their
hard.
heels that it
Yeah,
broke up the
yeah.
play.
hmm
They
So
did to us what we did to Peterborough. We broke
right,
up Peterborough's play,
yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Birmingham just did it to us, and then we couldn't do what
hmm
we wanted.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I
Okay.
agree with that.
Big chances missed, pretty the same. XG conceded, they're higher than us.
hmm
That stat is the opposite way around. They actually should do it the other way, but
Yeah.
so we're actually better with the 8. I didn't notice there, so that should have been green.
hmm
Fouls per match. This should be the opposite way around as well. We're ninth, and they're 17th, so we have more fouls than them, and we have more yellow cards
Yeah.
than them. See that one? That one I remembered. Oh no, they have more yellow cards than
No,
us.
they've
Actually,
got more yellows. Yeah,
they've got
yeah, yeah,
more.
yeah.
But
Yeah, that one's the opposite way around too. Yeah, some of those are confusing because if you have more, it's actually a bad thing. The
yes,
higher in the rankings you
yeah,
are, the worse it actually is. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, any comments before we hit the next slide?
Let's see. We got. Here we go. Let's throw Matt out. Barney didn't get a sniff at Brum. They saw the threat and shut him down. Yeah, he was nowhere to be found. Um, they did a great job. They did a fantastic job. Uh, I think a lot of that was we were just on the back foot so much in that game. They had us pinned back, and it just he never really had a chance to get out and get going. Um, I think early on he had a couple chances. Do you think he got a cross or two in early? Can't remember exactly, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he was pinned back. It was just nothing we could do. You know. Here's another one. Kelly, boy, those yellow cards add up fast. Well, when you got players like uh, yeah, Macca and um, Dobson, yeah,
But
they're
it
gonna pick
does
up
not
the yellow
help when, excuse me, my throat's getting awfully dry. It does not help when Mullen decides to get stupid yellow cards for
Yeah,
mouthing. Like,
yeah.
do you know, if you're going to get a yellow card, kick someone, or elbow them, or do something worthy of a yellow card.
Yeah.
Like sticks and stones and all this sort of stuff. Like, what's the point?
Shoot. Yeah. Here's Ken. Birmingham is the benchmark in this league. Crawley will be a different game. Yeah, absolutely. I
That they
think
will. Um,
it'll be interesting to see how it works out. But yeah, I could see this game going very well for us.
so can I. But this is where we need to show we can do it.
Yeah.
That we can
Yeah.
take out the lower teams and the middle teams with relative ease at home and
hmm
with some ease away. Because we need to take out a lot of these matches if we're going to be up at the top. Playoffs, maybe not so much. I think we can get away with a little bit more if we want to end up in the playoffs. But if we want a shot at going for that second, we really need to be clinical and taking out these matches.
So Matt Al making McLean captain has calmed him down considerably. I agree. I think it
I
has.
think so.
I
Yeah.
think it's been good. Sanjay, Sheldon, and Aaron. If we play the same 11 and Crawley Town does a job this weekend by parking the bus and hitting us on the counter, what's your thoughts on the team lineup and tactics? Um, they're not really. Crawley's not really that type of team that are going to park the bus. They're going to want the ball and they're just going to pass it around. So I don't worry too much about that. I think we'll
That's the
be
question.
hitting them on. I think we'll be hitting them on the counter. Um, Now, as far as the lineup, our starting 11, I do think we will see some changes. Parkinson, just his the kind of thing he does when he gets new players in is he takes his time and he waits for the opportunity. He gives the players that were already there the opportunity to keep their spots, and then when something happens, then he moves them in. So last season, perfect example was our Okonkwo. We got Arthur in, and he was on the bench for 5, 6 matches, I think, maybe a little more. Um, and we had Howard in goal, and then Howard gave up 5 goals to Stockport, and then the next game Okonkwo was in, and he was our keeper for the rest of the season. So I think a game like Birmingham gives him the opportunity to say, okay, now it's time to push some of these other players into the lineup. I wouldn't be surprised to see Scar go in. That would be the main one. Um, Not sure about Brunt. I don't think you need to make too much of a change in the back. But I think if you brought Scar in, I think that'd be a good change. Not sure who he takes out though. That'll be the interesting one. Is who he decides to take out. I've got my thoughts, but I'll save them. I'll save them.
Okay.
Let's see.
Uh,
Chat's going
Hang on,
crazy now.
I'll answer it. One sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sticking strictly with what you said, whether it'll happen or not, if they park the bus on us,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion is we need to know what we're going to do in that situation.
Yeah.
So for me, you play around outside the box and you hit worldies in on
Mm-hmm.
top of them.
Yeah.
And okay, there's a couple of men in front of you, but you just fire shot after shot after shot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you look for a rebound, you look for a deflection, you go in after it, and whatever we do, we have to have an actual tactic. And I do think it seemed last season that we didn't really have a particular style or tactic to go after someone who completely parked the bus, like those greeny boys
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
last season.
Fourth screen. Yeah.
Forest Green Rovers, that's the one.
Yeah.
I don't even care to remember their name. They're gone.
Yeah. They're having fun in the National League now. So.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to figure out what we're doing. Okay. Predictions will come, Mary.
Okay.
Guys, if you want to throw some predictions in the chat, off you go.
Uh-huh.
We'll let you know a bit later. Okay,
Yeah.
so stats then here versus the league average. So we have our stats, their stats, and then the league average in the middle in the grey. So points per game obviously is high. Percentage of win, draw, and loss. Technically, they're ahead of us with more draws per the games played, but that doesn't really count because we're ahead on the wins. Goals scored per game, goals conceded per game, we are way up on all of these. Clean sheet 67% to 20. Failed to score in only 17%. They're at 40. So we're way below the average for the league and they are way up there. First team to score, we're way up. We've seen a lot of these stats last week, so I'm going to fly through them.
Yeah.
The 40% team score first for Crawley. But once they do have the lead, they defended it, but that's because they only had like one match or two matches where they were in the lead and very little goals.
Yeah.
Now, this is the interesting one, as we kind of mentioned last week as well. Average minutes scored for the first goal, we are currently still at 16 for our first goal, because our first goal versus Birmingham was low as well. Average for the season for everybody is 31, and Crawley is in the second half, 51 minutes. So it takes them a long time generally to get going and to break you down and to figure out how to get through to score a goal. And very often they've let a goal in by that stage. Average minute conceded the first goal. That's not available for us because we don't concede that way.
Yep. Yeah.
And then percent leading time, we're 56%, trailing only 7% of the time. So our stats are way up there. Crawley's are way, way down.
Yeah.
But this, as much as we love stats, look, that's not the be all and end all. Crawley can do a number on us if we let them. but I don't see it. None of these stats are in their favor, really.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to another thing. I watched the manager interview, and he said they always play their game and analyze the opponents looking for weaknesses. He said he watched the Brum match and took copious notes. I'm sure he did. Sure he did. I think they'll have a tough time playing as aggressive as
they'll have a
they
tough
don't have
time
the
acting
player.
like
Yeah,
Birmingham.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think if they try to come at us like Birmingham did, we will beat them 6-0.
yeah, yeah. I want to
Yeah,
know, did he take copious amount of notes when we played Peterborough?
yeah. That's a good question. Good question. Obviously, we are hoping for 3 points and a good return against the lower teams and getting an auto promo playoff. Not to jinx it, but I think we're in good shape for a playoff spot by season end. Yeah, we've already went through it at the beginning. Actually, we're still on track for first place. So we've got the or for at least for the average point total that it takes to get first place. So we're in a very good position right now. We really don't have anything to complain about as far as where we're at in the league right now. And we've got a good
Yeah,
run of games coming up that we talked about last week. Um, we got games coming up that are winnable, and I think so. I think we're going to be able to stay at the top of the table. Let's see here, Mary with a hot take. O'Connell can sit this game for me. That's not who I'd sit. That's not the one I'd sit. Interesting. Matt Al. Put Max as a sweeper and have O'Connor, Brunt, and Scar work
he
wonders
won't do
against
it.
Salford
No way.
defense. I don't think so either. No. The problem is if you do that, then you've got who you dropping from the midfield um, to be able to do that. Yeah, it just brings up lots of issues there. Lots of issues there.
I would be almost amazed if Brunt gets into the team this week.
I agree. I don't see
I think he's going to sit for a while.
Yeah, I I just don't see him being better than what's already in there. Not that he's a bad player, but
Yeah,
I don't know that he's better. Scar, I think, is better than a couple, or at least
yeah,
one. So I think Scar is the one that gets in the team. But here's the thing, though: Brunt could get in. Let's say God forbid, say Max goes down with an injury and he's out for 5 weeks. Brunt could come in and be unbelievable, and he could play
yeah,
really well. And he's a good player, and he could play that spot. But right now, I don't. Max hasn't done anything to me to say he needs dropped. I think Max has been outstanding this season, so I don't see the point in dropping him. I think the two with the argument of being dropped would be O'Connell and O'Connor, and
yeah,
to me, O'Connell has been the better of the two. O'Connor, I think he's had good games, but I don't think he's been unbelievable. And I wouldn't mind seeing them, slide players in. That being said, I think we've talked about this before. O'Connell and Scar are both very good in the middle.
yeah,
Can O'Connell slide out to the left and be as good on the left? I don't know if he can. To take O'Connell.
yeah,
So maybe O'Connell gets dropped because of the role more than
yeah.
he's the one that you want to drop. So I don't know. It's an art. It's something that Parky's got to make a decision there, and it's a tough one. It's not an easy decision for sure, but I do think we'll see Scar this weekend. I'd be surprised if we didn't see Scar this weekend.
Yep. Any
Okay.
more?
Nope. I think that's all.
Nope.
Oh wait, yeah, there are. Sorry, I just hadn't scrolled down. My bad. Mary, 4-0 Wrexham. I like that. I like that attitude. I wouldn't be surprised actually. Matt Al, that's my prediction, Mary. We're 4-0 up last time we played Crawley, and they snuck one in at the last minute. Yes, they did. I remember that. Dan, where I agree, guys. Just nothing. Noting that they always play their game. Yeah, they do. They play that possession style game, and they will control the ball this game for sure. They'll probably have 70% of the possession, and they'll probably create one chance. So I think that's how it'll
Well,
go.
do you know what? I want to say something on that, which is that I think most teams basically only have one style,
Yeah,
pretty much.
right.
Um, they don't have a full plan B, is
Hmm.
what I would really say, because we would have a slightly different style when we have a lot of possession,
Hmm.
which is fine, which is
Hmm.
just a version of what we do,
Yeah.
and we have our style when we're happy to leave them with a lot of possession, and we do the full counter. But then if it goes wrong, we don't have a plan B either. Notts County didn't have a plan B last season,
No.
um,
No.
and it wasn't actually their plan A was the problem. It was their defense. Simple as that.
I
So
it's hard. I think when at this level, I think it's hard to have a plan B because you bring players in that can
yeah,
play a certain style, and then if you wanted to change that style in the middle, say in the middle of a game, it's hard to do. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think at this level, I think when
and
you get to the higher levels,
yeah,
you see more of that type of stuff. Where, like, for example, Birmingham, they could play very direct attacking football, very direct at times, and I think really when they scored their goals was they were playing very direct attacking football. But they're good enough also to just sit on the ball
hmm,
and just pass it around and pass through you, and not be as attack and just control the game like that way. So they're a team that could play two different styles, really. You know what I mean? But I think most of the teams in this league and the lower leagues are going to struggle to have a completely different, you know, a complete
yeah,
change like that. You might change your formation just to get more players forward or
hmm.
something like. And we've seen that with Park. You throw an extra attacker on if we're chasing a game and stuff like that.
For
Real quick.
me,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
if you had a good plan B, it would
Hmm.
be your plan A.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. Kelly, do we know if Georgia Evans is still injured? I don't know. I
I haven't heard.
honestly, I've never even heard that he was for sure injured. Have we heard that he was for sure injured, or are we just kind of
Um,
assuming that? I don't know if we've ever got a.
no,
That's
Parky
one
did say
thing.
he was. Parky said he was injured.
Did he? Okay. Okay.
He
Okay.
did.
I
Yeah,
might have missed that, but yeah, it's you just don't. I wish they were
but
better about things like that.
he didn't make it sound as if it was a bad injury or a
Yeah.
long term injury.
Right.
Now, whether he was hiding it a bit or
Hmm.
not, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But it
So
could be a situation that he went out injured and he just simply lost his place to Dobson, and there's no way to pull Dobson out at
well,
the moment.
with him, I think he's a player that if he's healthy, I think he's on the bench at least because he can play several positions.
Hmm.
He can play in the back three, and he can
Yes.
also play as
Yeah.
the midfielder. So that's a good player to have when you can only have seven
Yes.
players on the bench.
Yeah.
You want players that can play multiple positions to help cover. Sanjay, on a more serious note, is Palmer re-signing for another season, or Josh consuming mojitos in a Cancun foam party more likely to occur? Well, I don't know. We'll have to check on Josh. He may be in a foam party right now. I'm not sure. We were talking to him earlier, and he seemed like he was having a blast down there. Um,
Well, I'll throw my hat out here now. I may regret this. I don't think I will, but if Palmer resigns for next season,
mhm.
I'm going to go and buy that stupid pink jersey that I saw last week on the match review show. Right? So clip it up. Someone will surely have the receipts, right? If we get a re-signing for another year for Palmer, I'll go and buy that pink shirt and wear it on stream.
Boy, that's you're flirting with disaster there, Shell. You're flirting with disaster.
I know. Well, let's have a little fun.
Yeah,
It's
there
only
you go.
money plus
That's right.
UK taxes plus Finnish taxes plus
Oh yeah.
custom taxes and every other bloody tax I have to pay to get my shirts into the country.
Yeah, yeah. You
But that's a different story.
pay more for pay more in taxes than you do for the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
will be really lucky to hold on to Max come January. He'll be snapped up if he carries on with quality performances. Maybe.
I don't
I mean,
know.
here's the thing. We're in a position. This is the thing that's different. We're in a position that we don't have to sell players.
Yeah.
So now, if he wants to go, sure. If he wants to go, let him go. Don't hold him back. Um, but if he wants to stay and we're happy to keep him, I don't think we need to sell him. I mean, even if we got a something like a $4 or $5 million bid. I mean, we we don't necessarily need that much. Like we're okay. We don't need to sell him. Um, and I don't know if he'd get that bit high of a bid. I know that was who was it that said that? Somebody had him said he was a $5 million player. Um,
Well,
I can't
the
remember who it
one,
was.
yeah, I don't think he's probably going to get that high either.
Probably not.
The
Probably not.
the only thing that I think could push for him to maybe accept something like that is if come the January window,
Hmm.
somebody is really stuck. Like January window, they can't find the player they want,
Hmm.
or they can't find someone else, and Max is the best guy available. They
Hmm.
might pay through the nose to get him out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're stuck, you're stuck. You
Yep.
have to get someone to fill the position. And sometimes in January, you can find that there's not many players available for the position that you want. Um, because I would think in that scenario, let's say some people are sniffing around Max. That sounds horrible. And they want to take him away. Um, I would think for Max, he would be better off talking to the club and saying, okay, what are we going to do about this?
Yeah.
I'll stay till the summer
Yeah.
and we need to be promoted
Yep.
to championship,
Hmm.
or I'll sign for a championship team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if we do get promoted, I'll be looking for a nice bonus,
Yeah.
a nice pay increase. Maybe,
Sure.
obviously, more than the 20% or whatever might be standard for just going up. Because if he can find out in January what he's worth, um, wage wise, if he goes to a top end championship club, and then he can basically ask Wrexham to match it in the summer.
Well, here's the thing, though. Uh, as far as that goes, the club's got to be willing to sell him too. Um, we just signed him on a 3-year deal, so
Yeah.
he's signed. So
So they'll
like
get their
Mary
money.
Evans questions, how much to keep Max? If you had to guess now, it doesn't cost us anything to keep Max because we've got him signed on a
Yeah,
3-year
we got
deal.
him signed.
He's here. He's here. So he only goes if the club wants to sell him and he wants to go.
Yeah.
So it's not.
But
Like I
if
said, I
he
don't think they'll hold him back. I don't think they'll hold him back, but I also don't see us needing to sell either. So
if he wants to go, um, and the club want him to stay, we are only going to keep him for 6 months because you do not want a player whose mind has been changed that they can
yeah,
get better elsewhere. So certainly, if we end up in League One again next year, if we don't make it through playoffs in, let's say, up to the championship, then absolutely you're going to have to let him go,
yeah,
for any sort of reasonable offer, because you don't want him hanging around. He'll hate it, you know.
mhm,
He'll hate staying, and you won't get the best out of him. So that's the
yeah,
situation. Once their head is turned, that they can get the money and everything elsewhere. Why would you not? Now you can love Wrexham all you want, but if we don't go up next year, and he has the option of top half of championship,
yeah.
he's going to go.
Probably, yeah,
Most likely,
yeah,
look. It would take something really big, in your own life that you don't go. You know what I mean? Maybe he is the person that's just completely settled, loves the Wrexham experience. I have enough money. I don't care. Some people just do not care about the money. Once they have
yeah,
enough, they have enough.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Um, Matt Al, if a high-end championship or prim club come calling, he'll go. Possibly. Um,
Okay.
see, Ken, if we go up, Paddy Power and Aaron will get a 20% bonus for sure. I'll have to talk to my agent. I may be looking for a little more than that. We'll be in talks, though,
Okay.
Ken. We'll be in talks.
Right. We've kind of sidetracked here. We need to
Yeah, 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 yeah. We gotta
move
get going.
along a bit. All right, next group. Now we have home versus away stats as last episode. So team scored first, us 100%, 3 out of 3, 50% for Crawley on their away matches. Opponents scored first, never against us. Even Birmingham, we scored the first one.
Yep.
Now away matches, they had 1 out of 2. The opponent scored first. Nothing crazy there. Average minutes in the lead, we are 83%.
Wow.
Their average minutes leading, 2%.
Oof. That's not much. Not much.
2%. 64% at level and 33% trailing. That is a crazy stat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's
That's wild.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they've only had 2 matches. It's very early, but still, 2%. Okay. Non-crucial goals, we scored 6 of them in our home matches. Non-crucial goals conceded 2.
Yeah.
They had 0 and 0, but again, with this one, sample size is a bit small for any of
Mm-hmm.
this to be overly important. But we'll show it because I'm going to use this template for later in the season too.
Mm-hmm.
Goals scored home for us is 9. And for them, it's 1 away. So 25% of their goals, they've scored 4, 1 away. We've scored 12 and 9 of them at home. So that statistic
Yeah.
is the one there that
Yeah.
I think shows that we're going to have a 3-1 at least.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one when you look, granted, we've had one extra away game or one extra home game, and they've only had 2 away games. The fact that we've scored 9 at home and they've only scored 1 away,
But as
that's
a percentage,
yeah,
75%.
yeah. I mean that's wild. That's wild. Doesn't look good for them. Does not look good for them.
No, anything else? I don't really see too much here.
No, I think we can move on.
Okay. Next one, we have players. Okay, so on our side, I've done this a little different this week, and I'm hoping this looks a little better and cleaner. Wrexham top 5 average FOTMOB scores. First, we have Elliot Lee, 7.58, George Dobson, 7.49, Owen O'Connell, who we're talking about replacing in our defence, third
Mhm.
with 7.39,
Yeah.
Max Kluert, 7.35, and Ryan Barnett in the midfield, 7.27. Any surprises in our top 5?
Elliot Lee being at the top actually surprised me a little bit. I thought that'd be George. I mean, I know Elliot's been good. I just assumed George would be at the top of that group because he's been so good. So yeah, a little surprising. I mean, it shouldn't be. Elliot Lee's a great player. So it's
Yeah,
just on
I think
average, I don't know that it doesn't seem like he's been as good as Dobson, but then again, apparently he has.
I, I I think the problem for Dobson is I think he runs into some more negative statistics
Mm-hmm.
because of his style of play and the fact he's everywhere,
Yeah.
like missed passes, missed tackles, stuff like this,
Right.
probably are pulling him down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be my guess there. Um, then on the Crawley side, we have Josh Flint, 7.47 in defense. Tobias Malarkey, 7.35, defender again. Jeremy Kelly, 7.34, defender. Then they have their keeper, 7.16, Joseph Wallacott. And then midfield again, Junior Quitirna, whatever.
Easy for you to say.
Midfielder. Yeah. So their defenders, their keeper, and one from midfield take their top 5. So they don't have any really attackers,
No.
and neither did we, actually. Our
Mm-hmm.
attackers are not getting high mob points, but that's irrelevant because we're scoring.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, and their defense is reasonably okay by stats,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keepers. We have Arthur Okonkwo, 7.13, and Joseph Wallacott, their keeper, is on 7.16.
Yeah.
So looking at that, he must be a reasonably decent keeper.
Yeah, I mean, they've kept a lot of goals. They haven't had a ton of goals scored on them. That's one thing you can say. So they're
Haven't been
decent.
smashed. Too
Yeah.
much. 3-0.
No.
They had a 3-0 up by Barnsley.
Is that what it
I
was?
think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was Barnsley.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, they've been low scoring games. I think they've kept one clean sheet.
One clean
So that's
sheet.
a
Yeah.
little surprising. It's a little surprising that they've only kept one and we've kept four.
Well,
And
that was their
Arthur's,
1-0 win. So
yeah. But, I mean, but what I'm saying is the fact that Arthur's had four clean sheets and somehow he's a little lower points wise is surprising. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm sure he's a good goalkeeper though. I mean, obviously his
Yeah.
stats say he's a good goalkeeper. So
All right. Next set of stats here we have top scorers. For us, it's Jack Marriott 4, Elliot Lee 2, Max Kluert in defence 2, Ollie Palmer attack 2, Andy Cannon midfield 1, and Stephen Fletcher in attack 1. So we've spread a lot of our goals out across 6 different people. They've only scored 4, and it comes from 2 from their midfield, 1 from defence, and 1 from attack. So
yeah,
they're not doing much with their attackers up front at all.
no, that's the thing. It's another thing we haven't really touched on. They've scored 4 goals this season. One of those was a penalty.
Yes.
So from open play, they've only scored 3 goals this season. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, they just don't, like I said, they don't create a lot. Um, they don't create a lot. Let's go. Show a couple of these. Ken, those stats don't read well for them. No, they don't. Matt Al. It's weird how Lee always seems to play better when Mullen's on the field. Uh, yeah, I mean, probably
You just
because
get comfortable with someone.
well, that and I think Mullen sucks up a lot of attention, so Lee can slip into spots and get some
Yeah.
goals. Ruby, nice to have you in here, Ruby. And then some guys saying hi. Numbers are sexy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So, what are we on to next?
Multiples are always better, aren't they, Aaron?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay, so I am done with my slides. So if
oh,
there's
okay.
anything else in chat, we'll hit a few chats and then we can drop on to our final kind of talking points. And then that'll be it for this week, guys.
All right. So here's Marie from SoCal. Mullen creates more trouble for defenders at the back than Marriott.
Yeah,
Possible.
I would potentially agree
I
with that. He
think
does a lot
yeah,
more runs.
yeah. I I agree. I think Marriott's more of a poacher. He's just there.
Yeah.
He's there in the right places. Not so much making the runs like Mullen does. But he's good. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Marriott's a good player. Really like Jack. And then Ruby laughing. I think we're caught up on our chats. So, do you want to go through the fixtures for this weekend real quick?
Yes, I wanted to end on
Over.
our weekend fixtures, and we're just
Yes.
going to run through them and talk about what we want to happen for the weekend. So, what would be our perfect match results according simply to the table? Let's keep everybody away from us and as far back as possible. So, simple answer is give everybody draws, but not completely.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so first game up, Exeter City at home, Stevenage. They're playing. What do you think there? What do you think there?
They're both down the bottom, aren't they? What positions are they in?
I think Stevenage is a little higher. I think they're
I'll
mid-table.
pull it up here.
Exeter,
Um,
I'm not sure where Exeter is at the moment.
I got it here. Hang on. Okay. Exeter is in 16th.
Okay.
And Stevenage is in 9th. Okay, so then that's an easy. Exeter is winning. An Exeter
Yeah,
win
that's what.
versus Stevenage. We won
Yeah.
for that one.
Yep. Okay. So
Okay.
Lincoln City at home to Wigan Athletic.
Lincoln is up the top, is in sixth, and Wigan is in 15th. So yeah, we want a Wigan win for
And
that one.
I think they can get a win there. I really do. I
They
think they've been
can.
playing a little
They
better. I
can.
think
Yeah.
they can. I think Wigan can win that game. I'm not positive. That may be a derby game. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, so for some reason, I was thinking that might be one of their derbies. I'm not sure. Okay, next game, Bolton. There you go.
Yep.
Bolton Reading.
Bolton. Well, Bolton needs some points, so it's a
Bolton
Bolton
needs,
win
yeah,
versus Reading.
yeah.
Yeah. So news about Reading. We didn't talk about
Oh,
that, did we?
terrible, terrible. So
Yes.
apparently, guys, I think his name was James, who was on the show, had talked about the Reading fan that was on the show had talked about their the sell of their club, and they're trying to sell the club, and they thought they had a deal close.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it looks like that's fallen through. So that deal's not going through. They're stuck with the old owner, um, and they're
Younger.
not. Yeah, Die Young, and they're not sure what's going to happen going forward. They're. I know the Reading. I feel terrible for the Reading fans because they've been through the ringer. But yeah, that's going to be tough for them. But they're in trouble. They need
Yeah.
some backing. They need a new owner for sure.
Yeah. That gentleman, I can't forgot his name there, who was with us
Yeah,
for the Reading match.
I think it
Um,
was James.
he
I want to say it was James.
James. He put out a video about it today.
Yeah,
That I watched, and it's somewhat depressing,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Feel terrible for
So
those guys.
yeah, I kind of loved his sign off at the end of that video. For anyone who goes and watches it, I won't
Yeah,
say it here because it's not my channel.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, he uses the four-letter C word at the end of it to thank Mr. Younger for everything he's done for the club. Um, so yeah, look, I would hate to see Reading slide down, and they may continue to do so if this doesn't get sorted.
Yeah.
But just simply on stats, statistically speaking, we want Bolton Wanderers to win, and take out a win versus Reading here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
So next match, Burton Albion and Barnsley.
Okay, Burton Albion are
I think they're definitely lower than
20th.
Barnsley. Yeah. So a Burton win here is what we'd prefer. I think. Yeah, Barnsley
Yeah,
7th. So a
yes.
Burton win would.
Yeah, we definitely want Barnsley to be pulled back.
Yeah.
However, I'm sure there are a lot of Wrexham fans that would love to see Burton take a kicking.
Well, they can they can win this game and still get
And just
they
lose
can
to
still get
everybody else.
relegated. Yeah, just lose the rest of them. Yeah. Next game is Charlton and Blackpool.
Okay, Charlton is in third, and Blackpool is somewhere down the bottom.
Yeah,
19th.
Yeah,
19th.
So,
So we definitely want Blackpool to be winning this
Yes.
one. Charlton need to drop a couple of points.
Yeah.
That's kind of an important match because they are chasing us to jump ahead.
Yeah. Okay, next match, Huddersfield versus Northampton.
Northampton in 18th
Yep.
and Huddersfield in 4th. This is another one that I do not expect Northampton to be able to win.
No.
But that's what we're looking for, is a surprise win for Northampton on the away match at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
No, they should be getting a kicking in this match. So I do not expect that, but let's all hope and pray. Send our good thoughts to Northampton against Huddersfield.
Yeah. All right. So Mansfield versus Shrewsbury.
Our old pals Mansfield, they are in 8th. And Shrewsbury is right down the bottom in 23rd. So we are looking for Shrewsbury to do us a little favour and give Mansfield a bit of a kicking. Now, again, not one that they should probably win, especially as an away match. But maybe a nice little draw.
Yeah.
we want to win, but obviously, if you want to win, draws are cool.
Hmm.
If you can't get the win, um, but that's what we're after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Peterborough and Bristol Rovers.
So Peterborough is in 11th and Bristol Rovers is in 14th. Now, Bristol has played one extra match and they are both on 7 points. So if we do want anybody to win here, it probably should be Bristol Rovers.
Hmm.
But the way they're lining out pretty close, a draw would actually be pretty good
Yeah.
here to take points off both of them and keep them both back a bit.
Yeah.
So this is one of the few that actually a draw may make more sense than a win for either.
Okay, so Rotherham United versus Birmingham City.
Well, Rotherham has an upset in them. They have done it before.
Hmm.
They're a better team than the position they're in. They're in 17th at the moment, and Birmingham is obviously chasing us in second. So, yep, we want a surprise from Rotherham
Yeah, maybe we
against
get a
Birmingham
maybe Birmingham has a little letdown after the big game.
after the big game, and it's
Yeah,
an away match for
yeah,
them.
yep,
Rotherham will have the home fans
yeah.
supporting them.
I'm sure Steve Evans will have his boys up for it, but I would almost. I mean, okay, obviously the result we want is Birmingham to lose, but
Mhm.
if we saw Birmingham win like 4-0 over Rotherham, would be hilarious to see Steve Evans absolutely go ballistic on the touchline. So that's something. Just for the epic meltdown we'll see on the sidelines. That would might be interesting to see Steve Evans just throw a tantrum. And his post match interview would probably be pretty entertaining too. Stockport County versus Leighton Orient.
Okay, Stockport in 5th and Leighton Orient in 22nd. Now, Leighton Orient are after coming off a little bit of a surprise win in their last match. And let's see if they can do it again versus Stockport.
Yeah.
They are way down there. We don't really expect that. Stockport at home, that should be an easy win for them. But a nice little draw would be good. But yeah, Leighton, do us a favor, take all 3 points.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Wrexham Crawley, I think we've talked enough about that. We're gonna smash
We
it.
haven't. We'll go back to them in a second because we
Oh
haven't
yeah,
given our
we'll go back.
predictions.
You're right. We'll give our predictions. Okay. Wickham and Cambridge.
Okay, Wickham is in 10th. We've already played them, and Cambridge is 24th. So obviously, not likely Cambridge is going to do much. They have 1 point,
They're
one
the
draw out of the
only
5.
team. Yeah, only team left in the league that have not won a match yet. Is
Yeah,
Cambridge.
and Wickham, we beat them 3-2 at home.
Mhm.
They can score goals. I have been very impressed by a lot of the Wickham matches, how they have managed to score.
Yeah.
Now, they have also let in goals,
Mhm.
but their attacking is getting on the end of balls.
Yeah.
So, should be an easy win for Wickham, but let's hope Cambridge get rid of that duck egg for 0 wins in the league so far and pull out one as an away match.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but hey, what can we do?
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Then that leaves Wrexham versus Crawley.
All right. So, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. 4-0.
4-0. Man, another
Yep.
clean sheet, 4 goals. I like it. I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to it.
We were up 4-0 in the last match away. At home, which I was at. It was a lovely game, and we were so happy by the end of it. I didn't even care that they scored their consolation. But I would love to stick a little marker in the sand, a 4-0, and an easy match, an easy win. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the. I'll take the 3-0. I think 3 goals will be good. I think they're going to control the match. They're probably going to have 70 or more percent of the ball, but I think we're going to catch them on the break and score a load of goals. Yeah, I think 3-0 will be fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the last few comments we got here, and
Ruby's in there. doubting that we really have the real Josh Anthony in the
Yeah,
comments.
I mean, it could be a fake Josh. To be
Could be
fair,
a fake Josh. Could
yeah,
be.
I mean, we know producer Ann's fake, so maybe that Josh Anthony is also fake. So you never know.
Ruby slippers. If you're really Josh, tell us something only Josh would know. Okay. Right. Kelly, following up on our comments there, the Reading news is awful. So sad for the fans. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is going to be a mess for the
yeah, I
rest of the
feel
season.
terrible. Feel
Um,
terrible
be-
for him.
because it's clear Dayonga is trying to get every little penny he can out of the club.
Hmm.
Does not care what state he's going to leave it in.
Yeah,
Um, now, if in the video I was watching earlier, the speculation that was put out there that is pure rumor, and that he had zero confirmation on, was that potentially Dayonga has issues in China and maybe under
yeah,
some form of
yeah,
house arrest.
right. I
Um,
saw that. But you'd
so
think if that was the case, surely he just got rid of it. That's what
yes, or if that's the case, he has lost control of everything, and they're not ready to deal with it just at the moment,
maybe.
and everything is just stopped.
Yeah,
So he may not have financial control to be able to finalize everything. But I just threw it out there because it's on the video. So I would have expected that news to get out though. That's the one thing.
yeah.
I would have expected someone to have a bit of more confirmation on that. But
Well, but
then again,
if
it is
it's
the Chinese
from
government.
China,
So,
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, you
maybe,
saw
maybe
that.
not. Yeah. So yeah, that video was James at Reading Away FC.
Yeah, yeah. Go watch his
So
video.
guys, go watch his
He goes,
video. Show him a
yeah,
bit
he
of
goes
love.
into, yeah,
He uh, he was looking a little bit depressed
yeah.
in his
They
video.
need all this. Those guys need all the
Um,
support they can get.
and
So
he did actually mention that he's thinking of giving it all up, um,
yeah,
as well. So he's really down at the moment. So maybe drop him a nice comment or something.
it's Kelly. Reading
Um,
will likely lose Ruben Sellers.
yes,
Probably.
this is the next one. I'd say as well. Yes. Obviously, the scenario is he needs somewhere to go.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, if this keeps going on, why would Ruben stay?
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm shocked any of their team stayed.
Well,
I
yeah,
really would have expected him to leave and to
yeah.
jump ship because we were looking, and there was other teams looking as well, sniffing around.
Hmm.
I keep saying that. I don't know. I should stop doing that. Um, so yeah, I assume some team is going to come in from once they need a manager. Yeah, he's too good to be stuck in that situation.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the next thing to happen as well. Is the players will leave. Think of January. Like imagine January they lose half their players, and then they just go on a rocket ship down to relegation.
Mhm. Yeah.
Could
You
happen.
never know. You never know. Kelly, I think we all need to join Aaron and become Rotherham fans this weekend. Yeah, we all want Rotherham to win. Let's see. Ken, how long does a full charge of producer and last?
That was a question
Uh,
only. That was for the question only Josh could
yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and then Mary, we Josh will finally confess she's actually a Hufflepuff.
Okay. Again, like let's just go back onto Harry Potter. Why not? Because it worked in the last video. Um, right. Have we confirmed who everybody is? Because I could not pay enough attention to it in the last video. Does
Somebody
anybody know
told somebody
what the
told me I
chat
was a
decided?
Gryffindor. I was told I was a Gryffindor, and so whatever, I'll take it. Other than that, I don't know.
I think they were saying I was a Slytherin,
You're a Slytherin, okay?
maybe.
I don't know. What was Ken? You remember what Ken was?
Was he Ravenclaw or no? No, he
I
was
think that's
Hufflepuff.
what they were saying. Josh was. I thought they were saying Josh was a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, see, Ken was a
Ken's the
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think Josh was the Ravenclaw. I think they were saying, if I remember right. That sounds right. We'll go with that. I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts on Josh as a Ravenclaw?
Josh could be a Ravenclaw.
Oh, there you go. That we got all four covered then. You're the
Josh
Slytherin.
wouldn't. Kelly disagrees.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's not decided. Right.
All right. Undecided.
Now,
We're still working on
task
Josh.
for the chat and the Discord. Right. Actually, I have not put up the Discord in
Oh
this
yeah.
video, so before we jump out, I'm going to do that. Give me 2 seconds. So this is a job for the chat. By the time I do my next video, I would like to know conclusively what the Discord and the chat have chosen for everybody. Because I don't really want to be talking about this on the next video, and certainly not the one after the next video. I would like an end to this, and I'm just curious as well.
Yeah. All right,
Josh
guys.
could be a Dumbledore. Yeah, that's a very Ken comment.
Yeah.
What's a Dumbledore?
Josh, Jake Roberts says Josh is Snape.
Okay.
I
I think we've been waffling for the last.
Yeah, we've been. Let's not go 2 hours like we did last time. All right, guys. Hey, good show.
Right, guys.
Thanks everybody for joining us. And we'll see you next week. Got anything to finish off with, Paddy?
Yeah, the bombshell that it's been almost a week and they still haven't figured out who we are. It doesn't take this long. Come on, guys. Up your game here.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, we are both out.